A recent incident here at Texas Tech led to the national headlines and expanded the debate regarding the limits of free speech on college campuses. Coming up, we'll have details on the incident and the university's response.
With fall in full swing, the daily campus calendar is also filling up with lots of opportunities for students. Find out how Red Raiders were given the opportunity to brighten the day of their peers or jump on a special bike to create a healthy, tasty treat.
And the Texas Tech football team is preparing to head to Utah for their first conference showdown of the year. We'll have details on the Red Raiders' toughest matchup of the year so far, along with the rest of the weekend schedule for Texas Tech athletics.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Elisabeth Herring.
And I'm Allie Scott. The Texas Tech campus made national headlines earlier this week following an incident outside the sub.
The incident went viral, leading to the expulsion of one student and questions regarding free speech on college campuses. Last Friday afternoon, Cameron Giselle Booker was arrested in the free speech area outside the sub. Booker confronted a fellow student who was holding a poster board that said, "Rest in peace, Charlie," to memorialize the recent death of Charlie Kirk. The viral video showed Booker taunting the student and other supporters in the crowd, initially using obscenities and chants to mock Charlie Kirk's death. Booker then continued the debate with the crowd, with many encouraging her to leave. Members of the Texas Tech Police Department were called to the scene to monitor the incident and were present when Booker eventually approached the student with the sign and attempted to knock off his hat. Booker was then arrested for simple assault and escorted to the Lubbock County Jail. On Monday, the TTU system officially acknowledged the incident, with Chancellor Ted Mitchell sending out a public statement to the university community. The statement says, quote, "At the TTU system, we are committed to a values-based culture rooted in respect and dignity. Any behavior that denigrates victims of violence is reprehensible, and we reject conduct that could foster or lead to violence." Earlier on Monday, the university also confirmed with media that Booker had been expelled from Texas Tech. Along with the incident here on campus, another viral video recorded at Texas State University in San Marcos also led to the expulsion of a student after mocking Kirk's death. Those incidents and other similar situations will now be reviewed by Texas legislative committees that will study bias and free speech at state universities. The announcement of the new committees came on Friday in response to the shooting of Charlie Kirk.
In other news, on Monday, Service Week 2025 kicked off here on campus, featuring 5 days of opportunities for students to serve campus and the Lubbock community. Yesterday morning, Texas Tech's High Riders did their part by hosting a Words of Affirmation event starting at 9 a.m. in the sub. Members of the group set up a table near the bookstore in the sub and encouraged students to stop by and write a positive message on a sticky note. Those notes were then folded up and offered to passerbys who grabbed a message with hopes of improving their day. Words of Affirmation was one of nearly a dozen events hosted by various campus groups for Service Week. The Student Activities Board organized this week's schedule and also provided students opportunities to serve at local nonprofits or even help make pet toys to be given out to local animal shelters. SAB is finishing out Service Week with 2 final service opportunities tomorrow, one at the South Plains Food Bank and the other at the Primrose Retirement Community. For more information, check out SAB's Fall 2025 activity calendar on their website at sab.ttu.edu.
This week marks the 4th week of fall semester. Most students are already adjusted to their daily class schedule, but for many first-year and transfer students, there's still a lot to learn about the Texas Tech community. With that in mind, the Rawls College of Business held their annual Rawls Day event yesterday at the Business Building. The event took place in the courtyard on the south side of the building, and this year's theme was Rawls Cella, a music festival theme celebration. Representatives from student organizations in the Rawls College were on hand to educate attendees about their group and recruitment new members. Free food and drinks were also available just outside the south entry doors, along with photo ops with both Texas Tech mascots and plenty of Rawls swag. The annual event is also an opportunity to bring together the Rawls community to allow students to network with their peers and learn all about the opportunities available through the College of Business. Rawls Day 2025 wrapped up at 1 p.m. yesterday afternoon.
The weather worked out great for yesterday's Rawls Day and other outdoor activities, but it hasn't been that long since storms affected other activities, such as the Texas Tech versus Oregon State football game. It's been mostly dry so far this week, but could a return of wet weather be on the way to the South Plains? Elisabeth has a look at what to expect as we finish out this week in today's MCTV forecast. Elisabeth?
Thanks, Allie. Well, a beautiful day here at Texas Tech. We see some nice clouds, but that is providing shade as you walk to class this afternoon. It's a little bit warmer today. We've been in the lower 80s this week, but we do have a warm-up coming later this weekend, as well as some rain chances for tonight and later this weekend. This weekend, right around at dinner time today, is when we're going to see the biggest chance of rain in Lubbock, continuing on throughout the evening and through the weekend. Chances for some spotty showers, as well as some cloudy conditions as we head into Saturday and into Sunday. Well, lows tonight across the South Plains in the mid to upper 50s and the mid 60s. Off the Caprock, a little bit warmer. Aspermont 66, Jayden 65. Cooler up in that northeast part of Lubbock. Demet 56, Silverton 58. And we'll start to see more of those 50-degree temperatures as we get into October. Highs tomorrow warming up into the upper 80s and lower 90s across the South Plains area. Of course, warmer off the Caprock in the lower 90s, cooler in those northern areas in the upper 80s, but warming up from what we've seen recently this week. Tonight here locally in Lubbock, low of 63. Tomorrow warming up to a warm 89 degrees, right around 90, so it's going to feel warmer tomorrow as you head out to class. As we look into this weekend, continuing that warm trend, high of 89 on Saturday, and then we jump up 6 degrees on Sunday with a high of 95 degrees, and Monday warming up even more with a high of 97. Back into those 80s as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. Lows in the upper 60s, tapering off into those upper 50s as we head into next week. Ironically, Monday is the first day of fall, and it is our warmest day possibly this month with a high of 97. We do cool back down into those 80s as we head in the rest of the week, but that doesn't rule out 90-degree temperatures for the rest of this month. I'm Elizabeth, and it's back to you, Allie.
Thanks, Elizabeth. As we mentioned earlier, rain and lightning played a big role in Texas Tech's most recent football game at the Jones, but the Red Raiders are hoping for better conditions as they hit the road for the biggest test of the season so far. Texas Tech will be taking on the Utah Utes in Salt Lake City on Saturday. The Utes have started off strong, going 3-0 in their preseason schedule. They've outscored their opponents by an average of 37 points per game, and in their most recent matchup against Wyoming, they racked up more than 500 yards on offense. But if that all sounds familiar, you're not wrong. Texas Tech is also 3-0, finished each game with an average of 57 points, and Baron Morton alone threw for more than 460 yards last weekend at the Jones. Due to those similarities, Tech is sitting at 17 in the AP Top 25 poll, while Utah is ranked 16. And in the USA Today Coaches poll, the Red Raiders are 2 spots ahead of the Utes at number 16. Either way you look at it, this weekend showdown will be tough for both sides, and the game could play a role in the outcome of the Big 12 at the end of the season. Texas Tech versus Utah is set for an 11 a.m. kickoff on Saturday. The matchup was selected as Fox's Big Noon kickoff, so you can also watch the pregame show, which will preview the matchup live from Salt Lake City starting at 9 a.m.
The Texas Tech women's soccer team may not be facing ranked competition this week, but they are gearing up for an important contest with familiar opponents as they start their conference schedule. The Red Raiders are headed to Waco on Friday to meet up with Baylor at Betty Lou Mayfield. The Bears are bringing a 5-0 and 2-0 record with the contest, while Tech has won 6 of the first 7 games. Neither team is currently ranked, but the Red Raiders were the first one out this week in the United Soccer Coaches Top 25 poll. Friday's start time is set for 7 p.m. and you can catch all the action on ESPN+. And if you're looking for an in-person option to support some Red Raiders this weekend, Tech Volleyball will be returning to the home court for the first time this semester. Texas Tech is hosting the Red Raiders Classic at the United Supermarkets Arena with matchups on both Friday and Saturday. Tomorrow, the Red Raiders have their first matchup at noon against Albany, followed by a 7 p.m. first serve against Ole Miss. Then on Saturday, Texas will finish their weekend against Incarnate Word at noon. If you can't make it out to the USA to cheer on the team, you can also watch all 3 games on ESPN+. The life of a college student often includes a busy schedule, and sometimes that means getting in a rush and not making time for important things, like a healthy meal.
If that sounds like you, one campus group held a special event yesterday to encourage Red Raiders to make better food choices by offering some tasty treats and a unique way to create a healthy snack. Earlier this week, Texas Tech's Hospitality Services invited students to stop by the sub for Dole Day on Wednesday. The event featured several tables of samples from Dole and a chance to ride the Dole smoothie bike. Participants who rode the bike used their feet to power a blender and create a one-of-a-kind smoothie. Along with the human-powered smoothies, Dole also brought out samples of juice, fruit cups, and dried fruit for students to grab and try out before heading to their next class. Students could also grab some Dole swag, and representatives from the company were available to talk about the products. Dole Day started at 11 a.m., but it didn't last long, with the event wrapping up as soon as all the samples were given away. If you missed yesterday's Hasty Activity, Hospitality Services hosts several events throughout the school year that give students a chance to discover unique products, cuisines, and treats. For more information on future events, you can follow Hospitality Services by searching for Eat at Texas Tech on Facebook, Instagram, and X.
Okay, Allie, did you get to stop by the sub and ride the Dole bike?
I did not, but I'm honestly really sad I missed it. If I would have heard about it, I would have been there.
It was really cute, I must say. It was really cute to see everyone make the smoothies.
Yes.
That's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you next week.